Pre-war origins, the Enclave. Before the bombs fell, they weren't called the Enclave. They were shadow members of the United States government. Deep state operatives, corporate executives, military leaders, people with access, with clearance, with plans most citizens never knew existed. They saw the nuclear war coming, not as a possibility, but as an inevitability. While the government told Americans to stay calm, to trust Vault-Tec, to believe in a peaceful future, these individuals prepared for something else entirely. They secured resources, oil rig installations, secret bunkers, advanced technology that would survive the blast. When the bombs dropped on October 23, 2077, most of humanity died. The Enclave did not. They evacuated to predetermined locations before the first missile struck. They watched the world burn from safety. This wasn't luck. This was design. They had abandoned America to save themselves. The government that promised protection had already left. The oil rig. After the war, the Enclave's main base became an oil rig off the California coast, isolated, heavily fortified, completely cut off from the mainland devastation. For decades, they lived there, generations born who never saw the wasteland. They preserved pre-war technology, advanced weapons, power armor, vertibirds. While survivors on the surface scrounged for food and clean water, the Enclave maintained a functioning military infrastructure. They believed they were the last bastion of civilization, the legitimate continuation of the United States government. In their minds, everyone else was contaminated, mutated, less than human. The radiation had poisoned the wasteland, and everyone touched by it was no longer American, no longer worth saving. This isolation bred extremism. Without contact with surface survivors, without seeing the communities that had rebuilt, they developed a twisted ideology. They weren't just the government in exile. They were the pure remnant of humanity. Everyone else was expendable. Ideology. The Enclave operates on genetic purity. They measure humanity by radiation exposure, by mutation, by bloodline. If your ancestors survived outside their bunkers, you're contaminated, subhuman, not worth consideration. This isn't just prejudice, it's doctrine. They view wastelanders the way you might view feral animals. Dangerous, diseased, better off eliminated. Vault dwellers get marginal consideration only because Vault-Tec's technology kept them relatively pure. But even then, suspicion remains. Ghouls, super mutants, anyone visibly changed by radiation receives immediate hostility. But the ideology goes deeper. Even normal-looking humans born in the wasteland carry genetic damage in Enclave eyes. The radiation, the FEV in the air and water, the centuries of contamination have rendered them irredeemable. The Enclave doesn't see genocide. They see restoration, cleansing the earth of mutated specimens to make room for pure humanity to reclaim America. In their worldview, they're not villains, they're saviors. This delusion makes them more dangerous than raiders or super mutants. Raiders want resources. The Enclave wants extinction. The modified FEV. Their most horrific plan involved the forced evolutionary virus, FEV, the same mutagen that created super mutants. The Enclave modified it for a different purpose, mass extinction. Scientists at Control Station Enclave developed a strain designed to be lethal to anyone with radiation-induced mutations, which meant everyone, every wastelander, every surface survivor, everyone except the Enclave themselves. They planned to release it into the atmosphere using a modified missile platform. The plan was simple: one launch, global dispersal. Within weeks, the wasteland would be empty. Cities, towns, settlements, all gone. The Enclave would emerge from their bases to inherit a dead world. Then they would rebuild a pure America, free from contamination. They got close. Preparations were complete. The virus was ready. The launch codes were entered. Then, the Chosen One, a tribal from Arroyo, infiltrated the oil rig. What the Enclave saw as subhuman trash destroyed their entire operation. The rig exploded. Their leadership died. The plan failed. But the Enclave didn't die with it. Survivors scattered. Contingency protocols activated. The organization fractured, but fragments endured. Remnants and Regrouping. After the oil rig's destruction, Enclave forces regrouped at various installations. The largest concentration gathered at Raven Rock, a massive underground bunker on the East Coast. Old world military installation. Deep, secure, perfect for rebuilding. This became the Enclave's new command center. President John Henry Eden took control. Except Eden wasn't human. He was a Zax supercomputer, an AI that believed itself to be the legitimate president of the United States. The Enclave, desperate for leadership, accepted this fiction. Under Eden, the Enclave rebuilt its military. Vertibirds flew patrols, soldiers in advanced power armor swept the capital wasteland. They established a presence at satellite installations, Adams Air Force Base, mobile crawler units. They appeared strong, organized, resurgent, but internal fractures existed. Colonel Augustus Autumn, Eden's second-in-command, disagreed with the president's methods. Eden wanted to repeat the FEV plan, release modified virus into the water supply, kill everyone. Autumn wanted control, not genocide. He believed the Enclave could rule the wasteland, not just erase it. This split weakened them. While they fought over philosophy, the Lone Wanderer and the Brotherhood of Steel dismantled their operations piece by piece. Advanced technology. The Enclave possesses the most advanced technology in the wasteland. Pre-war military hardware. Research that never stopped. Development that continued for 2 centuries while everyone else struggled to survive. Their power armor surpasses anything the Brotherhood has. Hellfire armor, Tesla armor, sealed environmental systems, integrated weapons, energy shields. A soldier in Enclave armor can walk through radiation that would kill an unprotected human in minutes. They can shrug off small arms fire, survive direct hits from explosives. Their weapons match this sophistication. Plasma rifles, Tesla cannons, Gatling lasers. Vertibirds provide air superiority no other faction can match. They have orbital communication, satellite surveillance, capabilities that make them seem almost supernatural to wastelanders. This technology gap is their greatest strength and their greatest weakness. It makes them militarily superior in direct confrontation, but it also makes them dependent. They need facilities to maintain equipment, spare parts, specialized knowledge. When those resources are cut off, their advantage diminishes. The Brotherhood wants this technology. The Enclave needs it to survive. This creates inevitable conflict. 2 factions, both claiming to preserve pre-war America, both wielding advanced weapons, both convinced they're humanity's future. Conflict with the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Enclave are natural enemies. Both emerged from the old world military. Both preserve advanced technology. Both claim to protect humanity's future, but their methods and philosophies diverge completely. The Brotherhood hoards technology to keep it from dangerous hands. The Enclave uses technology to enforce their vision of genetic purity. The Brotherhood accepts wastelanders into their ranks, though reluctantly. The Enclave sees wastelanders as targets for elimination. This ideological conflict became military conflict. In the capital wasteland, Brotherhood forces engaged Enclave patrols repeatedly. Small skirmishes, territory disputes, escalating violence. The Brotherhood sought to capture Enclave tech. The Enclave sought to eliminate the Brotherhood as contaminants. The conflict reached its peak at Project Purity and Adams Air Force Base. The Brotherhood, with help from the Lone Wanderer, destroyed the Enclave's mobile base crawler, eliminated their leadership, scattered their forces. It was a devastating blow. But again, the Enclave survived. Remnants fled. Some went into hiding. Some joined other organizations. Some simply disappeared into the wasteland. The faction was broken, but individuals endured. Enclave Remnants. By the time of Fallout New Vegas, the Enclave as an organized force is gone. What remains are individuals, veterans, soldiers without a war, people who once believed in genetic purity, now just trying to survive. These remnants hide their past. They know what they were, what they did, what they believed. Some still hold those beliefs quietly. Others have changed, seen the wasteland differently, recognized their ideology was monstrous. But all of them hide. You can find them if you know where to look. Former officers living under false names, scientists who once developed biological weapons, now working as doctors. Soldiers who destroyed settlements, now protecting caravans. They wear different faces, different identities, different lives. The courier can recruit some of these remnants, convince them to fight one last battle. They put on their old armor, fly in their old vertibird. For a brief moment, the Enclave exists again. Then it's over. They disappear back into their hidden lives. This is what the Enclave has become. Not an organization, not a threat, just ghosts of pre-war America haunting the wasteland they once tried to purge. Moral complexity. The Enclave presents an interesting moral question. They're clearly villains, genocidal, supremacist, willing to kill millions for their vision of purity. But they're also true believers. They genuinely think they're saving humanity. In their minds, the wasteland is dying. Radiation poisoning spreads through every generation. Mutation increases. Humanity degrades. Without intervention, everyone becomes ghouls or worse. Extinction through contamination. Their solution is monstrous, but their diagnosis isn't entirely wrong. The wasteland is harsh. Radiation does cause mutations. Life expectancy is short. Disease is rampant. They see real problems. They just choose the most evil possible solution. Some Enclave members joined because they believed the propaganda. Others because they wanted power. Some because it was their family legacy, born into the organization, raised on its ideology. Not all of them are equally culpable. Some are true believers. Some are just following orders. Some are victims of indoctrination. This doesn't excuse their actions. Planning genocide remains genocide regardless of motivation, but it adds layers. The Enclave isn't just cartoonish evil. It's organized evil, systematic evil, evil that thinks it's good. That's more frightening than simple cruelty. Legacy and symbolism. The Enclave represents something specific in Fallout's world. They're the old world refusing to die. The worst aspects of pre-war America concentrated and preserved. Supremacy, militarism, exceptionalism, taken to its darkest extreme. While other factions try to build something new from the ruins, the Enclave tries to resurrect what was. They want 1950s America back. The America that never really existed except in propaganda. The shining city on the hill. Except their city requires mass graves to build its foundation. They're a warning about ideology that values purity over compassion, about governments that see citizens as expendable, about technology without ethics. The Enclave had the resources to actually help the wasteland. They could have shared technology, medical knowledge, agricultural techniques. Instead, they chose annihilation. Their fall shows that superior technology doesn't guarantee victory. The chosen one, a tribal with a pipe rifle, destroyed their oil rig. The lone wanderer, a vault kid, dismantled their East Coast operations. The courier, a bullet-scarred wanderer, can rally their own remnants against them. Regular people, contaminated and mutated, defeated the pure and powerful. The Enclave's legacy is failure. They failed to save America before the war, failed to rebuild it after, failed to exterminate those they saw as inferior. Now, they're scattered, broken, a cautionary tale about the dangers of believing your group is inherently superior to all others. The wasteland didn't need them. It moved on without them, and their vision of pure America died with them, unmourned and unremembered by the people they tried to erase.